So welcome everyone then to the first game of the series between Dragon Imperious Shadow, a.k.a. Dragonstar, and Chris versus White Wolf Palace 8. This is a great series that I'm very much looking forward to. It's going to be the first time that we'll see, oh god, the colors over here are not good. Let's switch this over to yellow. So yeah, it's going to be the first time that we'll see this. Dragon Imperious Shadow, they did play the qualifiers, but they are up against White Wolf Palace A. They are up against Mr. Yo+Lyx. This is incredible. Having Chris in the tournament, and my tournament even, it's so nice. So let's take a look at the matchup. Starting on the left hand side, we're going to see Chris playing with Britons. He'll be facing Lyx, who's playing with Slavs. So with Britons, Chris will get 1 and 2 extra range on foot archer units in the castle and Imperial Ages, except for skirmishers. He also gets 25% faster working shepherds, as well as a 50% wood discount on TC starting in the castle age, and for the team bonus, he'll also have 20% faster working archer ranges. Playing against Lyx, he'll be facing Slavs, which means the yellow player will get first off. Let's check. Yeah, yellow player is going to get faster working farmers. He'll get cheaper siege weapons as well, 10 and 15% if I'm not mistaken. They also get on top of that free supplies. And for the team bonus, Slavs will also get 5 extra population support per each military building they go for, as if they were houses. Now check this out, Chris is trying to be a micro nerf! That is so close! That villager was 2 hits away from going down, but in the end he ends up taking a lot of heat from the TC. And he gets pushed away. That's very interesting to see. So you can see Chris is gonna try to be hyper aggressive maybe? We'll see. Hey Giovanni, welcome. We have talked about the civilizations on the left hand side. Let's take a look at the civilizations on the right hand side. Dragonstar's playing with Berbers himself, which means of course 15 and 20% cheaper stable units in the castle and Imperial Ages. On top of that, Dragonstar will also get 10% faster moving villagers and ships. He'll have as well, in addition to that, access to Genitor for the team bonus. And taking a look at the right hand side, then finally Mr. Yo playing with Japanese means that he'll get 5, 10, 15 and 20% faster working fishing ships, depending on the age, with twice the HP and plus 2 pierce armor, plus 50% discount on drop-off buildings, 33% faster attacking infantry units starting in the field age, and for the team bonus, he'll provide 50% extra line of sight on galley line ships. So Mr. Yo is going already for water. He's got a dock. We're gonna see a dock already out for Chris as well. And as a matter of fact, I think he's the... Yeah, Chris is the player with the most fishing ships out right now with 2-1 compared to Mr. Yo. And he's not going for any more, but we do have yeah, some fishing ships coming up over here for Dragonstar and a little back pond that generated for him. Yeah, something that would be kind of possible over here for Mr. Yo as well, I would imagine. And over here as well for Dragonstar. There isn't really a lot of fish, so they'll very soon have to go for fish traps, of course, but it's nice. It's gonna be a little bit safer, right? It's gonna be harder to get to. Over here we could probably see the same as well, like if we saw, for instance, Lyx go for, you know, for a dock over here, he would block this, and then he would be able to collect from here, he would be able to collect, there is actually another fish over here. You cannot see it because it's behind the stats, right? But there is another one over there. Regardless, PLH is on the way for, well, almost everyone. Walls coming up for Lyx. He's actually diverting 3 villagers to that to get the walls up, I think. Only 2. It's not too bad. On the right hand side, we have, yeah, probably about the same level of commitment, right? Mysterio is going for 2 villagers as well, trying to get the walls up. And it's good. Dragonstar's going for the walls up himself as well. He's got only 1 villager though, so it'll take a little bit longer. And Chris, on the other hand, yeah, it's taking a little bit longer to get the walls up. As a matter of fact, he's not going for walls whatsoever. But yeah. Welcome you guys, everybody who's coming into the stream for the first time. Hi. Hope you're having a good one so far. Well, let's check. Can we fast forward over here? I think we were completely live, right? So we cannot fast forward, yeah. Stables coming up for Lyx. Let's probably take this little moment of peace to update the scoreboard. Dragon in Bear's Shadow. Okay, we cannot. In BS. Dragon in Bear's Shadow versus White Wolf Palace A. Okay, there we go. Hey, Papa Perez. I'm doing pretty well. There would not be any other way when we have freaking Chris playing in the tournament. And up against White Wolf Palace, no less. Along Dragonstar. There we go, we're catching up to live again. Beautiful. Let's check. Dragonstar's coming up with some scouts. To be expected, of course, Chris should be the one going for archers, and he does have one archer already forward. Obviously, won't be able to do too much just yet. He needs to go for more units. He does have 2 archer ranges, which is great. Still missing fletching, though, and he's going for the walls. So it's going to take a little bit of time for him to get a blacksmith up, and doesn't seem like he can do too much, honestly. Yeah, Lyx has even added some stone walls behind the palisade, so it's going to be very hard for Lyx to, or for Chris to do anything around Lyx's space. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo's got a galley. He's got a second galley coming out. This is great. Galleys are so strong. And usually on these kinds of map where you have a hybrid terrain, water units are going to be so much better when around those sections of the map. However, of course, they cannot delve into land. So land units are still going to be better for doing eco damage otherwise. Okay, that's great. Scouts going down over here, 1 for 1. Mr. is going back as the scouts are a little bit too quick. Just going around, trying to find an opening into Lyx's space, but they are unable to do it. They are unable to do it. There we go. A little bit of pressure from Chris, but nothing too crazy. Yep, seems like we're not really going to have too much action in the fuel age. Chris ends up losing a few of those fishing ships, but that's going to be about it. Not too much eco damage done. And players will just try and play for the castle age. Mysterio is getting close to have enough resources to click up, and so is Lyx. As well as Dragonstar, and Chris is slowly but surely working his way up to being able to click out to the castle age as well. So very soon we'll see all 4 players going up. Lyx got some scouts coming forward. Probably won't be able to do too much. Yeah, and Chris, well, still trying to go for the walls around. Gonna take some time, of course. It's very slowly with only 1 villager, but it's the way it is. Hey Golik, hi, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Hope everything's going alright. Beautiful. Nice pick from Dragonstar. I'm doing alright, thank you so much for asking. Guys, by the way, I know that right now there are several tournaments taking place. I would imagine that Rage Forest is taking place currently, right? You let me know what stage that's in. All the best for the tournament, man. Some great maps and teams. Yes, absolutely agree then, thank you. So let me know which stage they are in right now. Is that the semi-final already or something? Because I think they were playing... it makes sense. Yeah, I think they were playing quarterfinals yesterday, right? So I imagine a lot of people are going to be watching that too. It's great. It's great. Once again, what a time to be alive and to be an Age of Empires 2 fan. You have 5 tournaments going on at the same time. Between Terranova, There is also King of the Americas, Rage Forest. There's only bans, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really sure if it's taking place live right now, but I think yesterday they were playing. And there's Golden League as well, so it's pretty good. Eight galleys over here for Mr. Yo, very soon to turn into war galleys. Should be going for Bodkin Arrow as well very soon. Meanwhile down south, not too much though. Not too much. Black Forest, it's so Zed. Well, yeah, for some people. I'm pretty sure that 20 to 50 times as many viewers as Meme has right now are probably going to disagree with that, but or maybe Meme's going to make up for it with his incredible attitude. But yeah, it's great that you have choices, right? I think a couple of years back you would probably just have one big tournament at a time. My coach won in semifinals yesterday in Rage Force 3. Nice. So if there was a semifinal yesterday and there's a semifinal today, is the grand final going to take place later today as well, or is that going to be played someplace else? Sometime else, rather. Good position for Mr. Yo. Still, War Galleys obviously will scale a lot better compared to Fire Galleys, so it's a rough position for Dragonstar over here. There's no way he'll be able to come out on top of these fire ships. Keeps on trying to break through. Cannot do too much, but at the very least distracting the War Galleys from Mr. Yo with his fire ships over here means that he can keep on bringing some knights over without having to worry about getting picked up before he can get forward. Unfortunately though, after getting cleaned up over here, Mr. Yo's coming forward once again, and he should be able to prevent any extra knights from getting through and doing any damage. Meanwhile down south we see more pressure from Chris against Lyx. Oh, but check this out, guys! Lyx is going for Lyx things! He's got already a siege workshop coming up forward inside Chris's island. Oh boy. May 1st the final, according to Wikipedia. Oh, so it's only a semi-final today? Let me check. May 1st, so next Sunday. Interesting, that seems like a awkward timing. I guess it's probably because the games are very long, right? What's the average? Do you know if they have that stat, what the average game length is for Rage Forest? I'm pretty curious. Anyway, good pressure from Lyx. It seems like Chris managed to break through though. He's coming with some archers. He's broken through the right hand side, so he's got some crosses over here. Spearmen to work with as well. And Lyx is the player going for knights, right? So very soon he's going to have enough knights to take care of these crossbows, no problem. Let me take a look to see if Chris got a university coming up or already up. He does not. So that's kind of rough. If you are up against mobile units and you have crossbows, you kind of have to go for ballistics. Otherwise, yeah, you can. You're unable to shred HP off those units when they are away. And you can only fight against knights when they are coming towards your units. Which might be already a little bit late, right? Usually you're going to get approached by knights when they are in enough numbers to clean your units up anyway. So it's not too much. He might be able to get a villager down or two over here, but I feel like it's too late, guys! Dragonstar's bringing the knights over. This is still open on the right-hand side, I think. Yes. But Dragonstar is not going through the right. He's going around the left-hand side. He cannot come in. Seems to be kind of like a miscommunication over there. Dragonstar's arriving on the knights. He probably would have been able to come in already, but Chris would still have gotten cleaned up anyway, even if Dragonstar would have gone through the right-hand side as opposed to the left. Interestingly enough, despite Wild Wolf Palace haven't been able to stabilize and repel Dragon in Bear's Shadow's aggression, Dragon in Bear's Shadows, they are still ahead in economy. They do have extra TCs to work with. So 4 for Chris and 3 for Dragonstar versus only 3 and 1, right? So it's going to be 4 versus 7 TCs in favor of Dragon in Bear's Shadow. So this could be good. I guess if we ever saw, for instance, Dragonstar or Chris get enough resources to go for a castle close to the shoreline and then use the castle to protect some docks with, they could potentially go for fast fire ships. The Berber play can go for fast fire ships, 10% faster moving as well. That would be enough for them to get back underwater. And yeah, start working from there. But we'll see. Right now, it seems like Mr. Yo will actually be the first player to click out to the Imperial H. Good manga shot. Hey Agus! Welcome as well. Hope everything's going alright. There we go. Beautiful. Imperial H is on the way already for Mr. Yo. The right hand side, he's going for some outposts to get some information. On Dragonstar's base. Does Dragonstar know about this? He knows about one. He knows about the villager coming forward, so he'll probably be able to either prevent this one from coming up or eventually take it down. But yeah, man, Dragonstar and Chris do not seem to be particularly close to going up to the Imperial H at all. So this puts WWP in a pretty good spot. Yes, the maps are amazing. Absolutely agrees. Absolutely agreed. Sorry. And big shout out, as usual, to Matt Cather, Huevo Coyote, because they are mostly responsible for the fantastic map pool that we have for the tournament. There we go. Beautiful pressure from Weibel Palace. Yeah, not too much elsewhere. Chris cannot really do too much over here. I guess the one thing he could do is just spread the units around and try to deny as much economy as possible, but it's kind of rough that he's got all the units forward when he's getting breached through, right? That's after all 16 knights coming forward, protected by war galleys as well. Plus siege. It's going to put Weibel Pass in a pretty good spot, and Dragon in Bear's Shadow. They're struggling. Dragonstar's going out to the Imperial Age himself, but Chris is definitely struggling over here. This castle's going to change things a little bit, yes. But of course, Mr. Yo being in the Imperial Age, he's starting to take some stone. He could potentially eventually come forward, drop a castle, and go for trebuchets. So the question is, will that actually happen before Chris gets a chance of going up to the Imperial Age himself? Yasama Towers with Galleon should be very nice for control all the map. I think GG. It's pretty good. Yeah, I agree with that. We'll see what Dragonstar goes for once he gets to the Imperial Age. After all, he's playing Berbers once again. He could potentially try and make a play for a shore castle, some docks, and fast fire ship. Agus? I would like to keep the chat in English, mostly for the other viewers, but yeah, I did like Age of Empires 4. It just got old very fast because there was no extra content. Now that modding is possible, it's only a matter of them adding a few extra new civilizations to bring momentum back, hopefully, and we're going to have 2 great games in the franchise to play. Not to disregard Age of Empires 1 and Age of Empires 3, you know, but I never quite got into Age of Empires 3. Age of Empires 4 I liked a lot better. There we go. Next coming into Dragonstar's base. Dragonstar gets to the Imperial Age, so should be able to go for Cavalier. Heavy Camel Rider. Cavalier coming up first. See Cannon Galleon on the way now from Mr. Yo as well, which is so good. And yeah, there's a castle coming up, but this is not going to be next to the shoreline. To be fair, it's kind of rough to get a castle close to the shoreline when there are already galleon surrounding your base, right? But there's not going to be enough for him to protect any docks, for instance. So he needed to try and go for it a little bit closer to the shoreline. WWP has his position over here, despite being significantly behind in economy. Seems pretty good, mostly because of all the military presence they have around the map and all the map control that they have gotten because of it. Let's check. Alright, now with Cavalier. He's trying to go up against the Galleon. There is not too many units over here. Mr. Yo does have a good amount of Galleon, it's just that they are not all forward. They are not all grouped up, so he's trying to bring the units around, right? We see some units from Lyx also coming through. The Knights. Yeah, and Dragonstar's getting pushed away from here. Remember, not 100% of the water over here is going to be traversable. This section, for instance, is going to be only good for ships, so Cavalier wouldn't be able to surround the units over there. It's gotta be only the swamp terrain. The villager difference is incredible in favor of Dragon in Bear's Shadow. Yes, now both players are in the Imperial Age compared to White Wolf Palace. We only have one player in the Imperial Age, and Lyx is still struggling to get enough to go up. But with all the map control that White Wolf Palace has, there's a lot of work left for Dragon in Bear's Shadow to do before they can come back. Guess it's going down from Dragonstar. Here come the Knights. Won't really be able to do too much against Cavalier and Heavy Camel, of course. Yeah, and Dragonstar should be able to push the units away, and he will. By the way, I'm trying some different settings for Capture H. You let me know if you notice any difference, or that the stream still looks good for you. Yeah, I'm pretty curious. Knights roaming around from Lyx. Where are the camels? Where are the Cavalier? There we go. Jones just bring these back. Fantastic. Lyx is looking strong still, despite being 1 inch behind. Now he's got the resources to go up. He's gotta... There we go. This is what I wanted to see. I want to see a castle close to the shoreline, and I want to see some docks coming up. Potentially fast fire ship. It doesn't really matter right now that everyone is getting to, or is going to be in the Imperial Age. Galleon's going to be the better unit. It was only a suggestion for when they were going to be facing war galleys, right? But against Galleon, Galleon's probably going to be the better unit. Looks fine on my end. Alright, that's great. The settings that I changed, I think, are the types of settings that you probably wouldn't notice if you just saw it. You probably only would realize about it if I showed it to you side by side. There we go. Also, Mysterious going for Yasama. You were suggesting Yasama towers, Lord Envidiates, and that might actually be what we'll get, right? How about the years coming up for Mysterio right now as well? And he started to get the towers up. These are guard towers, but he should be able to go for keep very soon. He doesn't really have arrow slits, so he can still go for that. So arrow slits, Yasama, and keep will make these towers incredibly effective, of course. Unfortunately for Japanese, they do not get Hitochat, which would actually help quite a bit over here against Navy units, right? But yeah, it's still pretty good. If they can hold on to the neutral islands, that's going to be a little bit better for the economy, as we do have some extra golds over here. Although that's also the case, yeah, on the more forward islands too. This is a very, very awkward map to try and trade on, by the way, so definitely you want to get control of those extra golds. Nice picks over here from Chris. He's starting to come back, he's trying, he's got 36 Galleon versus 32! 30 versus 20 versus 30 as well. I think it's going to be about the same over here for both. Yes, sir. Do we have the same upgrades? Well, we do. These are the exact same units. Mysterio's Galleon are a little bit faster. Yeah. But in terms of attack and defense and HP, it's going to be basically neck and neck. Well, Dragonstar on the other hand starting to send some units forward finally to try and get the raids going. And this is great. This is great synergy from Dragon and Burst Shadow. Notice how the moment Chris starts contesting Mr. Yo on water and he prevents Mr. Yo from camping the water between Dragonstar and Mr. Yo's base, now Dragonstar can come forward and start putting pressure up. So this is really, really good teamwork. Unfortunately, that's going to kind of leave Lyx up in the air, right? What is Lyx going to do next? He does not seem to be going for too many military units. He's got 3 knights, and he's got some pikemen coming out. So he seems to be thinking of going for halberdier, and he just finished researching it. Potentially play mail armor, chain mail armor he's got to go for. Play mail armor he's got to go for. Yeah. $100 difference? Yes, sir. And while Rival Pass was looking so much stronger for military just a couple minutes ago, that is no longer the case. In Dragon and Bear Shadow, they were able to finally make a transition from a strong economy into a strong military. Right? From this point onwards, if both teams are the same, let's see. Yeah, from this point onwards, if both teams are the same, then it should be better for Dragon and Bear Shadow. Because their stronger economy is going to allow them to produce units significantly better compared to Wild Pass. We have 53 Galleon versus 29. It's not even close anymore. I'm pretty curious as to who predicted Dragon and Bear Shadows to come out on top. Did any of you guys bet for Dragon and Bear Shadow? Did any of you call dibs? Call dibs on the points? It seems like you're going to get very nicely rewarded. And Cannon Galleon going down over there, that's not the best unit control, fortunately, for Mr. Yo. And what an incredible game. It's about the time for Chris to start putting pressure on land once again, right? It's kind of rough because he's gone so heavily into Galleon that he cannot really go for much of anything else. I would like to see some Cannon Galleon come out from Chris so that he can take the TCs down, push the villagers away, and get access to gold himself. If they can get a hold of all neutral islands, that's going to basically knock White Wolf Pass 8 out of the game. We take a look at resources. We have some gold left still, but it's not a lot, I think. Yeah. Okay, we do have a good amount of gold left actually for Mr. Yo. I guess the game's not over technically, still. But anyway. It's only a matter of time until Chris gets pop capped himself as well. Meanwhile, Lyx is trying to go for capped ramp, so we'll see C-Tram maybe. There we go. What does Dave stand for? Dragon in Bear's Shadow. Significantly more Galleon for Mr. Yo right now compared to Chris. Chris is still producing a lot though. Yeah, but he's getting cleaned up. That's not the best unit control either. He's gotta group the units up and always make sure that he's got a good amount of units to work with. Nice defense. Lyx bringing a couple of halberdier over there, taking the churches down is great. But here comes Dragonstar, guys! With all the Hussar, all the Cavalier, 20% cheaper stable production already in the Imperial Age. Wreaking havoc around Lyx's base. This is great if we can also take advantage of this. Go around. That'll be fantastic. Yeah, you just gotta use mobility to go and keep on taking villagers down, of course. Lyx can only defend with halberdiers, so that's going to be always a catch-up kind of unit. And that's what I'm talking about. So Dragonstar's getting to Lyx's soft underbelly. Going after the villagers. Yeah, and getting a bunch of kills over here. Not only is Lyx's underbelly soft, but it's also kind of tickly. So this is going to cause him to lose focus. On the right hand side, we see Camel Archers coming over from Dragonstar. What a great synergy. Game number 1 has been great for Dragon and Bear Shadows. Guys, Rival Pass scores a GG. And that's going to be 1-0 in favor of Dragonstar and Chris. So let's go and take a look at the achievements before hopping back out. For military, it's very close to 65 KD ratio for Dragonstar, which is great. And even though Chris did not manage to get a 1-to-1 KD ratio, it was still better on average for Dragon and Bear Shadow. And not only that, but because Chris's economy was so much stronger compared to anybody else's, even Mr. Yo's, right? You can take a look at over here, more than 50% resources collected for Dragon and Bear Shadows, with a big chunk of those being for Chris. He did not really care about KD so much, because it was not about cost efficiency. It was about outproducing Wild Wolf Pass A. So well played. Let's pay predictions off before hopping out and taking a look at which... There we go. Joining Bear's Shadow. And taking a look at which maps we have left. What map is next? It was going to be either Mountain Coast or Ruins, I believe. Let's see. Oh, it's Mountain Coast. All right. And guys, welcome everyone then to game number 2 in the set. This play all 5 set between Dragon and Bear's Shadow and White Wolf Palace A. We'll see for the matchups on the right hand side. Lyx and Mr. Yo playing with Berbers and Chinese. We have talked about Berbers in the previous game. We have not talked about Chinese just yet. So let's talk about them. Chinese will get first off, you know what? Let me just switch this over once again to... Oh no, that's good. They fixed the colors. Okay. So let's talk about Chinese for Mr. Yo. It's going to begin with 3 extra villagers. It's going to start with less resource because of it though, but he does get 5 extra line of sight and 5 higher population support on TCs. Man, that's a lot of gold coming over from Chris. 141, 134 for Lyx. And yeah. Besides the extra population capacity per TC plus the extra line of sight on TCs, Chinese will also get 10, 15, and 20% cheaper upgrades in the Feudal Castle and Imperial Ages. And for the team bonus, they'll also provide 10% extra food on farms for free. Meanwhile, for Dragonstar and Chris, on the other hand, we're going to get Chinese for Chris. We have talked about Chinese already. Same bonuses. Let's take a look at the trading over here from Dragonstar. 220. Okay. Let's take a look at the trade from Dragonstar. 220. Yo. Dragonstar the same. Okay. And yeah, this might be one village going down though right away from Chris. Oh, there we go. Lyx is going for Lyx things already. Early into the game, sending 6 villages plus the horse forward to they'll fight Chris off the island back into the water. And yeah, it's very interesting. Hey, Happy Boar. Welcome, welcome. It's going to be the second village going down. I think so. Yes, sir. 2 villages down already to Lyx's villagers. From Chris. Lyx is turning around and fighting. Bringing a few extra villages over. So right now it's going to be 7 versus 7. Lyx's overall HP pool is a little bit lower, but he does have a little bit more control over the engagement over here because of the horse. The higher mobility of this unit means that he can potentially block the weak villagers that Chris is trying to pull off. Meanwhile, pull away, right? Meanwhile, Lyx on the other hand is going to be completely uninterrupted and he can just bring the weak villagers back. So he sends a higher HP villager forward. That's going to be 6 villagers for him. Basically full HP versus 7 villagers over here. But Chris is still looking pretty much alright. Yeah. Let's got 2 weak villagers and that's going to be about it. So we didn't really talk about Dragonstar Civilization too much. He's playing with Indians, so it's Indians for now. What we get for that civilization is going to be 10% extra HP on villager units. Right, it's going to be also... Wait, what am I what? Sorry, they get 10% fast working fishermen. What am I talking about? He gets also 1 and 2 extra pierce armor on stable units in the castle and Imperial Ages, as well as 10, 15, 20, and 25% cheaper villagers in the Dark Feudal and Castle Age. As well as the Imperial Age, of course, respectively. Well, for the team bonus, they also get 4 bonus damage from camel units against buildings. So Imperial Age is here already for Dragonstar. He's gonna up super quick. 18 villagers only. There is a little bit of a pause. And I'm not too sure what the pause is for, okay, but they are going back, or they're still gonna keep on going. I think, yes. No one went for the trade workshop. Yeah, nobody's gone for it, and it's very interesting to see how the map meta changes as players start figuring out what the most effective tactic available is, what the best meta is, of course. And these days, well, they are mostly ignoring it at the very beginning. They are only going for the workshops once they have a strong enough economy so that they can actually produce from this. And yeah, that's the case for Mr. Yo right now, for instance, which is great. I would definitely like for the players to try and get control of those while they go out to the village so they can keep on going for more villagers. But the fact that they already have a dock and they can keep on going for fish and ships, it's also alright, so. Looks distracts while Yo goes for trade workshop. Yeah. Yo's got it. He's starting to trade some villagers, which is great. It's going to take some time, of course. 50 seconds per villager is not going to be quite the same as having like 2 TCs. But yeah. You can train villagers and you can train trade donkeys from the trade workshop. Here we go. Yeah, they're gonna keep on trading, of course. This is great. They're getting a lot of gold back. We still have the junks available for both Dragonstar and Chris. So yeah, this is actually pretty decent for them too. Is that a.k.a? That is a.k.a, yes! That's correct. Let me actually go back a little bit. Just want to make sure that... Yeah, this was just coming up. It's a great catch. The thing about having water presence around this map is that... Oh man, this is so good. Check how a.k.a. actually went and took the time to get the walls up around Dragonstar's wall line, right? So he can prevent the villagers from walking away. And this is so good. He's already getting 1 village down, make that actually 2 villagers. And the tower's going up over there. But that's gonna be 3 villagers going down for sure. Yes, sir! And yeah, the thing about having water TC start over here is that if you end up losing water control, you end up losing a TC and you have to move away anyway. So a.k.a. is going to ignore water. As you can see, he's not going for anything, right? He's still in the Dark Age, so he cannot go for galleys. This makes 100% sense. Plus the fact that Mr. Yo has gotten control of the workshop means that they will probably not fall behind in economy too much. In the end, Dragonstar does end up walking away from here. He does end up breaking through a.k.a.'s palisades. Yeah, damage has been done already. 4 villages down for Dragonstar. It's really close still though, neck and neck. 6-6 eco KD so far for both teams. Although, of course, with Mr. Yo... Let's see. Of course, with Mr. Yo's trade workshop, they'll be able to get ahead in economy. Chris, on the other hand, is going for archers already. It doesn't seem like anybody's going to commit too heavily onto water. Dragonstar does have some galleys, right? And we do have a lot more galleys for Mr. Yo, actually. But this land pressure could actually be a little bit too strong for Rival Pass to hold on against. We'll see. Right now, the military lead is there for Dragon in Bear's Shadow, mostly on land. And the economy lead is there for Rival Pass A. But just barely. Just barely. 7 extra villagers at this point after having had the workshop. It's actually not that much. Well, this is good. Maybe Mr. Yo can push Chris and Dragonstar away from water. It's going to be particularly damaging for Dragonstar because playing with Indians means that his economy could have been so much stronger just by keeping some villagers collecting fish. But anyway, it seems like finally somebody is going to go over to the left workshop. It's going to be somebody from Rival Pass as well. So it's going to be 2 workshops for Rival Pass versus no workshops for Dragon in Bear's Shadow. 8 extra villagers or 8 extra workers right now for Rival Pass A. You gotta keep in mind as well that it's still Dark Age for Lyx, so by the time he gets to the Fuel Age, that's going to be reduced to probably 3 extra villagers only or so. Let's check. This is open still though. We might see a villager go down. Actually, if he hovered around the villagers and he found the weakest one, he might have been able to get the villager down, but it seems like the tower's coming up and no villagers are dying. Oh, he found her! He got the villager. Well done. His galleys come over to defend against the Minotaurs. These Minotaurs should be going down. And they will, yeah. So, Chris got a bail from here, but what a hectic game. It's one of my favorite maps from the tournament, and this came from the map scripting contest. Guys, if you ever are interested into map scripting, do ! map scripting, and you're going to get a link to the Discord server for scripters where you can find a beautiful starting guide to get started on scripting, because if it weren't because of the community, this map wouldn't exist. This is not an official map. This is from the map contest for the tournament. It's great. Extremely hectic games we have seen on this map. There we go, Castle Edge here for Mr. Yo. Castle Edge will be here very soon for Dragonstar. And finally, Lyx is going out to the Fuel Edge himself, but as expected, Dragon in Bear's Shadow, they were able to catch up. You can see now, actually, economy count's looking a little higher for Dragon in Bear's Shadow, which is very interesting. Barracks already up for Dragonstar, which tells me I'll try to go for stables, I assume. Or is he gonna try to... Okay, so he is going for a stable, but it's only one, so it doesn't necessarily mean that he'll be going for camels only. He could potentially also go for cavalry archers, and he could be getting the stable for bloodlines. But if that was the case, he probably would want to go for the archer ranges first, given that he does not have the resource to go for everything right now. But yeah, it seems like it's just going to be camels then. From Dragonstar. And Lyx still has not taken the workshop, that is correct. He could have just brought one villager over, converted it, and then go back, right? But Dragonstar is flaring the workshop. Very close game still. Lyx is kind of exposed though. Having moved his economy from water to the left-hand side means that he's gonna be behind Dragonstar and Chris on the island. That is not that great. Second stable's coming up for Lyx, so quite clearly he'll try to go for camels himself once he gets to the castle age, but yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Chris and Dragonstar did not try to pressure Lyx a little bit harder. You know, just a couple archers around here, that'll go such a long way towards denying economy for Rival Palace. Hey, there we go. Dragonstar's actually going for the workshop himself. Beautiful. Nice tower. Up from Chris already. Seems like he'll end up losing the TC over here. I think he should be fine. Ah, man, he doesn't have the resource to go for the TC elsewhere. That kind of sucks a little bit. He probably would need to get slung by Dragonstar. As long as he's in the Fuel H, it's actually going to be possible for Dragonstar to send some resources over. But yeah, now Rival Pass has both players in the Castle H. Meanwhile, we are still waiting for Chris to get enough to go up himself. And it's been rough. He's been housed for a while already. Let's take a look at idle TC time. Oh boy, it's a lot for Chris. To be fair, it's also a lot for Mr. Yo and for Lyx. But yeah, you gotta keep in mind that workshops over here allow them to keep on training villagers, and I don't think it's going to go towards idle TC time. So yeah, it allowed them to compensate for it, so to say. Nice. There we go. We're just going down from Mr. Yo. In Dragon and Bear's Shadow, looking a little bit stronger for military, looking a little bit stronger for economy. How long is this going to be the case for, though? Once again, with Chris still being kind of stuck in the Fuel H, it's going to be basically 2v1 in terms of Castle H units, Castle H military, right? From Rival Palace against Dragon and Bear's Shadow. Like, we still have only archers over here for Chris. We have skirmishers, we have spearmen, Fuel H units. There's a defensive castle coming up from Mr. Yo. This is already going to be enough to hold on against all sorts of Castle H units. And much more so against Fuel H units, of course. Taking a look at the left-hand side. Yeah, Lyx is finally starting to lay some raids. Straight into Dragonstar's base, and Dragonstar losing a lot of villagers over here. As Daves goes down in eco count total. Let's check. There we go. No way for Dragonstar to defend himself against this on his own. Yeah, Lyx ends up cleaning the unit stops. That's going to be GG, guys. Dragon and Bear's Shadow cannot keep on going over here anymore. You know what's very interesting? While Lyx was putting pressure on the left-hand side, it was impossible for Mr. Yo to actually get the castle up on the right-hand side because of Chris's pressure, which is very interesting. But yeah, in the end, it's going to be 1-1 for Dragon and Bear's Shadow versus Rival Palace. So let's go and take a look at the achievements once again. What do we get? We're gonna see a much better KD for Yo+Lyx and Mr. Yo compared to Chris and Dragonstar, respectively. And yeah, this was a home map for Rival Palace for a reason. For economy, on the other hand, we'll see also a much stronger economy for actually Dragon and Bear's Shadow, I think. But it's not much stronger. It's barely higher, right? Probably like 52, 53% versus 48, 47%. It's very, very, very close in the end, which is interesting. Towards the end of the game, Rival Pass 8 did end up getting ahead in economy count over here, or worker count, which is awesome. So they were going to be able to catch up for the extra resources Dragon and Bear's Shadow were able to collect up until that point. So let's go back. Welcome everyone then to the next game of the series. What do we get then? We're going to have to switch the colors, right? We're going to have to switch Dragonstar over to yellow, so it's a little bit easier for us to tell the teams apart. But on the right hand side, we have Chris facing Mr. Yo. They will be playing with Gods and Franks, and we'll get for Chris with Gods. First off, instantly researching Loom. Besides that, villagers also get 5 bonus damage against boars, and hunters from Gods also get to carry 15 extra resources per trip. On top of that, we'll see for Gods 20, 25, 30, and 35% cheaper infantry production in the Darkfield Castle and Imperial Ages, with 1, 2, and 3 bonus damage against buildings. And then on top of that, gods also get 10 higher population support, maximum population support than the Imperial Age for up to 210 population. For the team bonus, gods will provide also 30% faster work in barracks, which is very nice. And yeah, taking a look at Mr. Yo over here playing with Franks. We're gonna see for the green player 20% extra HP on cavalry units starting in the field age. 25% cheaper castles, as well as 15% faster work in foragers, and we'll see for Franks as well. Let's see. We're gonna see for Franks as well for the team bonus. 2 extra line of sight on Nightline units. Before I forget it, they also do get farm upgrades for free too for the rest of the bonuses, but that's about it. On the left hand side, it's going to be Lyx playing with Britons, which we have already talked about in game number 1, facing Dragonstar, who's playing with Huns. Now, Dragonstar will begin with 100 less wood because of it, but he does get 200 population support from the get-go. He does not need to build houses anymore. Besides that, Huns will also get 50% accuracy on churches as opposed to 15%, and 10 and 20% cheaper cavalry archer units in the castle and Imperial Ages. So yes, why is everyone making lumber camp with 1 tile gap? Because of the ice. While this map looks like it should be fairly easy to wall out and it should be like a very close map, that's actually not the case because you have 1 tile of ice surrounding the forests. So it's kind of deceiving and you gotta make sure to know the maps before you get into the draft, right? And yeah, with this one being Drowning Bear Shadow's home map, I would imagine they were probably already quite familiar with it. Anyway, what I'm pretty curious about this series though is how Ruins is going to be played. I'm pretty curious about it. Predictions for this set? You know, I probably will be predicting White Wolf Pass to come out on top usually, but that's an easy pick, right? You know White Wolf Pass is a top tier team. The thing though is Dragonstar has been on the rise the last couple months. He's actually gotten super good. That doesn't mean that it's going to be too good for team games because obviously 1v1s, which he's been excelling at, and team games are very different things. But he's alongside Chris over here as well, which means that we have 2 very strong players for Div. So individually speaking, I think I would probably like Dragonstar and Chris. Oh. No berries? Is that so? Let me check. True? True? No berries. It's bugged out. Okay. Okay, let's go back. But yeah, because they are playing as a team and I'm not really sure. We have only seen 2 games so far, right? I'm not too sure how well they are going to synergize. I'm still going to go with White Wolf Palace, but I think this is going to be 3-2. I think it's actually very good for Drowning Bear Shadow. I think they have played an incredible game number 1, for instance. And they struggle in game number 2, but I think as they start working on their chemistry and stuff, they're going to become a very real threat. I hope that answers the question. Probably got a little bit carried away with the answer. Let me take a look at the map guide real quick for Frozen Forest. Yeah, you were supposed to have 6 berries, so it makes sense. Someone bet 1 bone? Yeah. Playing the odds there. Should have waited for the new civilization, then he could have had starting berries at the TC. True, true. Should have scheduled the game for 2 weeks from now. Oh, game's on already? Yes, sir. So let's go for it. We were only 7 minutes into the game, so we are not losing on too much. We're not missing on too much, rather. Let's go. By the way, will the new civilizations be allowed after DLC? We have been talking about it. Right now, the plan is to have 1 week of use in the previous patch, so that we see if the new patch is not going to introduce any new bugs or performance issues, or break a civilization or something, and then from that point onwards, we are probably going to switch to the new patch. As to whether we are going to allow the new civilizations to be used, that's going to be determined in a series by series basis, so it's going to be decided by the players. For consistency, I'd make the entire group stage this patch. We could do that too, as well. For sure, let me see, so it's coming out on the 28th, so that's 4 days from now, right? Yeah, we're gonna be in the 2nd. So, yeah, it's just we want to try and minimize as much overhead for the players as possible, which is why we provide the map guides, which is why we provide the map icons so they can identify the maps easily in game as well. And having to go to the previous patch for close to a full month, it's going to be kind of rough, but we'll see. Maybe it's the best idea. It'll be the most consistent, yes. It'll be a little bit more work for the players. Has any decision been reached on the PC versus Conquer situation? I'm not really sure if I should say yes, because we have agreed on what we are going to do, but we have not gotten a new team just yet. And the idea is to bring a different team to replace Conca, and we are going to offer Perfect Couple the option to either get an admin win for the first week, but move on with only 2 points, or if they want to play for the points, they're going to have to play a full set. Because if we have the new team come over and they have to play the missing games from the previous set, that's kind of awkward to have a set being played with different teams. Only half the set, right? But yeah, we'll still need to get confirmation from what the replacement team is going to be. They reschedule for Monday, or is this a different set? Oh, you're talking about Conca versus Perfect Couple? Conca is dropping from the tournament. They don't want to play anymore. They say they don't have time. So yeah, we are trying to figure out what to do about the replacement.
Yay.
Ready. Greeting.
Let's check. Alright. We're basically where we were left before they restarted the game, so I think it's all's good, right? Berries, yes, berries. Berries, berries, yeah, it's all good. So, Field should be on the way very soon. We see Loon just finished researching for Lyx, and he's going up early to the Field Age. Everybody else seems to be going either on 20 villagers or actually 18 villagers for Lyx. Never mind, dude, this is so nice. It's gonna be very, very aggressive by the looks of it from Wild Wolf Palace. We see 18 and 19 villager count for Lyx and Mr. Yo as they go up to the Fuel Age. Meanwhile, Chris and Dragonstar. Yeah. They're going to take a little bit longer to go up. And what is the play over here? It's going to be a drush from both players. So on the left hand side, we see militias coming over from Dragonstar. On the right hand side, we see militias coming over from Chris. He's got a 4th militia even. Chris is taking the current 2 militia Drush meta and throwing it out the window. He's going straight against the villagers, and there is a quick wall coming up over here. But he cannot wall this entirely because there is a tile of ice. So here come the militias. Oh boy. You forgot viewer prediction for this game 3? I'm pretty sure I enabled predictions. Yes, it was 100% for divs and 0% for Wild Pass, so I'm just going to delete this one and enable it again. Let's try one more time. There you go. Beautiful. There we go. Village is going down already from Mr. Yo. This is great. This is great pressure. This is great damage from Chris. Way more than you would expect to see from a Drush, but of course, it's worked out pretty well for him. Meanwhile, we'll see Dragonstar coming over as well. Let's check. It's gonna be a villager going down. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There we go. Could potentially get another one. He's going after the archer. I can only see results for G2 prediction. Probably need to restart Twitch. Maybe. Another villager going down. Yeah, I think he should be able to, right? Yeah, the archer actually ended up blocking the villager a little bit. Nice, 2 villagers down already. The Dragonstar's Drush. Meanwhile, Chris does end up getting cleaned up without being able to get another villager down, but at the very least that bought them enough time to get to the fuel age. Or at the very least, Dragonstar's got into the fuel age, and Chris is only now going to be on his way up. He does bring a few extra militias though, and he does have gods, so he does not pay too much for these units at the very least. And yeah, this is so good. Why? Well, let's switch Dragonstar over to yellow once again, sorry about that. Because Dragonstar going up so much later means that he does have a much stronger economy to work with. Plus the fact that he was able to get some villagers down is going to leave him in a much better spot for economy too. We take a look at gather economy time, right? Dragonstar's got 2 hours and 40 minutes. Meanwhile, you take a look at Lyx and he's got 2 hours and 22 minutes. That's 18 minutes, which is going to be worth about 360 resources, which already pays for the Drush. And obviously, it's going to keep on going higher and higher for Dragonstar by the minute. It's overall looking pretty good for Dragon in Bear's Shadow. And Chris is going up to the fuel age. If he's able to hold on over here, that's going to be so good. He's going to have a very strong economy to work with. However, it's kind of rough. He's up against Lyx and Mr. Yo's units over here. Dragonstar is nowhere to be seen. He's got some archers going forward against Lyx once again. Meanwhile, Chris is probably going to end up getting 2v1'd over here into the ground. There we go. He's got some militias to work with, but that's only going to be good against scouts, not against archers. Yeah, man, this could be nice for Lyx. What's the a.k.a? It's so far 4-2 in favor of Dragon in Bear's Shadow. Nice pick though, that's going to be 4-3. Man, that's a lot of militias. This is so nice to see from Chris. But we'll see the Minotaur's upgrade. I don't think he's got the resource right, otherwise he probably would have gone for it already. Yeah, he's missing gold. On the left hand side, Dragonstar's putting some pressure himself as well. We do have some defensive units for Lyx, and that's going to suffice for the time being to hold on against Dragonstar. Interestingly enough, despite a.k.a. being somewhat close, right, it's going to be 4-3, 5-3 actually, still in favor of Dragon in Bear's Shadow, so it's a little bit higher for them. They have taken 2 additional villagers from Rival Palace, but they are hit by 6 villagers. How come? Well, Wilbar is only coming up for Mr. Yo now, so it was not the reason. The reason is the idle TC time. You take a look at Mr. Yo and Lyx, and they have a combined idle TC time that is higher than 2 minutes. It's actually 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Meanwhile, for Johnny Bear's Shadow, on the other hand, is 1 minute and 13 seconds. That's going to amount to about 3 villagers or so. Plus the additional picks, that's going to leave Divs in a pretty good spot. Are militias cheaper for Gods and Fuel? Yes, they are 25% cheaper compared to 20% cheaper in the Dark Age. There we go, Minotaur's upgrades over here. Oh boy, this can be rough. That's a lot of Minotaurs. And Mr. Yo is exposed over here. He cannot quick wall at all. And that's a villager going down. Make that 2 villagers going down. He can turn around and fight against the scouts. I'm pretty sure he should be able to come out on top as well. Let's take a look at the HP pool. Removing the villagers from here. It's going to leave us an 8 Minotaurs versus 4 scouts with a much higher HP pool for Chris too. And this is incredible. That's the way you do it. And I was not expecting this to work out this well actually for Chris, but he's been able to do so much damage so far. Bring the a.k.a. up to 7-3. Almost 2-1 KD ratio, and these archers from Lyx are going back so that he can defend against the militias or the Minotaurs at this stage already, right? But is this going to be enough? Well, doesn't seem so. Archers from Dragonstar are arriving into the scene as well, and taking scouts down, taking archers down. We take a look at the military count, and Lyx is on 6 archers versus... How many archers do we have forward from Dragonstar? He's got 9 archers forward already out of 16, so... Yeah, this is pretty good. He's trying to go to the wood as well. Let me see, he's trying to get the tower up. So what a deceiving map. You take a look at the map guide and you say, okay, this map is going to allow me to boom. It's going to allow me to go up to the Imperial Age, right? I'm just going to go for full economy, but then you realize about the ice, and you realize just how darn difficult it is to actually protect resources. And all of a sudden this becomes a very, very open map, which is very interesting. And once again, community made. Now that we see the Minotaurs in action, the God pick makes sense on this map since it's hard to wall lane. That is correct. It might not be the only viable pick, we'll see. But yeah, it seems to work out pretty well. We could potentially even see Magyars as well. Here we are. Yeah. Still looking pretty one-sided for Dips. The Castle Age will be here so much faster for Dragonstar compared to Lyx. Mysterio's going up faster compared to Chris, though. This kind of reminds me a little bit of game number 2. So yeah, Germany Bear's Shadow, they are looking pretty good. But that's exactly what they looked like also in the previous game before they got clapped down by Castle Age units, but this time around, at the very least, Chris should be able to go out to the Castle Age himself as well. Last time around, he was kind of stuck in the Field Age. Here we go. Beautiful. Nice position for Dragonstar as well, just resting those archers underneath the tower, preventing Lyx from collecting gold, thus preventing him from going for extra crosses, right? Interesting that he's going out. He did not seem to be paying too much attention over here, otherwise he would have been able to get some extra villagers, right? But still pretty good. He does end up getting 2. And castle is on the way for Chris. It's gonna be here in a minute or so. And yeah, you know, he's still technically exposed. He's bringing some spearmen and some men-at-arms over to the right-hand side. It's nice to see devs hit both Lyx and Yo instead of hitting hard on only one of them. Yeah. The right hand side, we see some of the knights coming over from Mr. Yo, cleaning those archers up. It's not going to be enough for him to clean all the crosses up. And oh, actually, he just cleaned up all the crossbows. We see cavalry archers coming over from Dragonstar, actually. It makes sense, 10% cheaper. It's pretty good. High mobility units. Once you get to a good amount of these, it's going to be pretty much unstoppable. Yeah, Dragonstar's got the perfect civilization for this. Let's check. Good job. Let's get ballistics already. Should be able to get villagers at a distance. Now there's a defensive castle coming out for Chris. It's interesting to see that you're required to get to the castle age in order to get a good defense on this map, right? So you can castle the choke point, and it's not going to block it 100%, but at the very least it's going to put a lot of pressure on units coming your way because they will be taking damage. There is no way to circumvent the castle unless they went through the center, right? Maybe, so there could potentially be another castle coming up over there. That'll be good. But anyway, it's looking great. Dragonstar keeps on going around with the cavalry archers. And you were saying it's nice to see them hit them both players at the same time, but now they are going both after Mr. Yo. To be sure, Mr. Yo is certainly the strongest player from Rival Pass currently, while Lyx has already been taking a lot of damage himself as well. So they have hit on one player. They have done a lot of damage. They are going up against Mr. Yo right now. Yeah, and Dragon in Bear's Shadow is pulling a stronger and stronger lead by the minute. And it certainly looks GG, I would agree. Live forever and ever. There you are. Nice villager picks over here from Dragonstar on the left hand side. Beautiful position for Dragon in Bear's Shadow. And WWP is gonna keep on trying, guys, but this is looking so good for Dragonstar and Chris. A bunch of extra villagers going down right now from Lyx as well. And yeah, if this continues like this, we do have 25% more villagers, but if this continues like this, I wouldn't be surprised to see them go up to... Actually, it's higher than that right now. It's actually close to 50% extra villagers, but if this continues like this, I wouldn't be surprised to see divs get to twice as many villagers compared to Rival Palace after we have the 3rd TC coming out for Dragonstar. 2nd TC coming out for Chris, that's gonna be 5 TCs versus only 4 after Mr. Yo gets the 3rd TC up himself. And no extra TCs for Lyx whatsoever, so it's rough. Certainly a rough position for Rival Palace. If this goes in favor of Dragon in Bear's Shadow, that's going to give them the lead, which puts them in a pretty good spot, right? Because they are going to need one win out of 2 games remaining to get the match and to get the points. I'm not really sure if a lot of people would have been expecting this. Be honest, guys. Knowing the teams beforehand, before the game started, were you expecting Rival Palace to be behind Dragon in Bear's Shadow? Game number 3 already, or not? Because personally, I was expecting Rival Palace to still be able to clutch it up over here and come out on top. Obviously, that's still very much possible. Even if Dragon in Bear's Shadow wins game number 3, we'll still have 2 more games to go, and Rival Palace could very well end up winning those 2. But this level of performance, I was not expecting from Dragon in Bear's Shadow necessarily, and it's been a pleasant surprise. Yeah, the TC time is also kind of hard to watch. It's a lot of infantry coming over from Chris. How many cavalry archers do we have over here from Dragonstar as well? He's got 37! That is so good! Remember guys, with 30 cavalry archers, you can one-shot knights. He's got ballistics already, so... yeah, those knights will not be doing too much. And that's on top of all these pikemen and huskars, right? Coming over from Chris. What an interesting map concept. There you go. Bunch of crosses coming over from Lyx. He does have ballistics himself, but it's not going to be anywhere near as good. We actually have more cavalry archers over here at the same amount. Much higher HP units, of course. And here come the Huskars. Check this unit control from Chris. Bringing the Huskars over right away. Yeah, and these crosses will end up getting completely wiped. 17 crosses left. We have 28 cavalry archers left. It brings 2 more, and he's going to still have enough to one-shot knights. Right now, he's going to have to shot them. Second castle is on the way for Mr. Yo. They're going to keep on going. Although on the left-hand side, Chris seems to be coming forward uncontested against Lyx. Lyx got only crosses to defend himself with, which will not work against Huskars, simply put. And yeah, it's getting significantly more one-sided right now. Imperial is on the way now for Chris as well. As if the lead that he's managed to get was not strong enough already. This is incredible. Nothing for Lyx to do over here, unfortunately. Huskars will just dominate. The right-hand side. Not the entire army of cavalry archers coming forward. He's got many of these in the back still. How many do we have total? 27. So not the highest, but still alright. Just roaming around. Joining Bear's Shadow, pick the anti-archer combo. It's certainly quite effective. I wouldn't be surprised to see WWP call the GG as soon as Chris gets to the Imperial Age, but if they don't, they gotta call the GG as soon as Dragonstar gets to the Imperial Age, right? What will they do? Both in the Castle Age still against 2 Imperial Age players with much stronger units to work with. There we go. Really just here for Chris. And the GG's being called right away by Mr. Yo and Lex. That was not too much that we're going to be able to do. Chris getting to the Imperial Age means that he's gonna get access to Profusion, right? Which doubles his barrack working rate. He was going to get an additional discount on infantry units, 35% cheaper as well. And obviously he was also gonna get access to a blast furnace, elite Huskars, you know, halberdier, you name it. It was going to get significantly harder for WWP to keep on holding on. So they tried. But it was a very, very well-played game from Dragon in Bear's Shadows. That's going to be 2-1 in favor of Dragonstar and Chris. Let's go back. Let's go and take a look at the achievements before going back. And let's pick predictions off, too. There we go. For military, nice KD for Dragonstar. Not so much for Chris, but this is gods we're talking about. They do not really care about KD too much anyway. It was an average, a little bit higher for Mr. Yo and Lyx, but once again, it doesn't really matter. With the civilizations we had for Dragon in Bear's Shadow, a lower KD is alright. Especially as they do get a stronger economy towards the end of the game. This actually makes a big difference because they were able to train more units despite not trading quite as efficiently. For eco count, on the other hand, is significantly higher than 50% for Dragon in Bear's Shadow as well, and this is fueled... Actually, sorry, this is what fuels the stronger economy for them, so No surprises over there. Let's go back and wait to see what we'll get for game number 4. The quiz that I have is only for the technologies and the upgrades that civilizations get access to. Like, what's the top militia line upgrade for Persians, right? And that's going to be long swords, or for Hans, 200 swordsmen, that kind of stuff. Or do Italians get sappers? You know, do French get fervor? Do Franks get fervor? Sorry, that kind of stuff. To be fair though, I wouldn't recommend anybody to go and download the flashcard collection over there and use it, because it's very old already and it was only made for before DE, when there were no balance changes in the game basically. And it does not have any of the new civilizations. It does not have any of the latest changes. I wanted to make eventually also a flashcard collection for unit cost and technology cost and research time, that kind of stuff, but yeah, in the end I didn't manage to, and at this point it would be way harder to do it and maintain it without a script or a program that is more advanced than what I'm able to produce currently. The way you said you want to make a script for dealing with a pop-up and tinker and inspect element, maybe think so. Yeah, that's pretty basic stuff. Somebody from my stream actually, Farbiader, some time ago shared a script with me for Tamper Monkey that allows me to inject CSS into a page. So all that I do is I just copy that script over and I change it for whichever page I want to tinker with, and whatever objects I want to remove from that page. That is why when I go to AOA2.net to download record games, I don't see the crown. I don't see the crossed over names from the players who lost the game, and I don't see the crown next to the players who won, so that I avoid getting spoiled whenever I go and try to fetch record the games. Do Indians get... Wait, who are Indians? Indians are still very much in the game still. Why mass in Spanish over here? Because you start with a castle, so you can start going for pull archers, which are super mobile, and Spanish allow you to go for conquistadors as well. The great thing about this too is that eventually Spanish can make a switch into knights if you want to provide a meat shield for pull archers, and you're going to have also the other way around, potentially with eagle warriors as well. If you wanted to provide a meat shield for conquistadors on paper, usually it's going to be the other way around. Usually it's going to be Spanish going for cavalry, a meat shield, right, and Mayans going for archery, because of course it's much cheaper for Mayans, and they have the unit for the job. Anyway, guys, let's talk about the civilizations, and what do we get over here on the left-hand side? Let's switch the colors over once again. We're going to be using green for Lyx. There we go. On the left-hand side, we'll see Lyx playing with Spanish. He'll be facing Chris, who is playing with Spanish himself as well. So it's going to be the same for both. What do we get then? We'll see 18% faster attacking gunpowder units, as well as 30% faster working builders. They do not need to pay any gold for blacksmith upgrades. And then for the team bonus, trade is going to be 25% better for Spanish. It's going to be the same for both players, of course. And then on the right hand side instead, we'll see Mayans both for Mr. Yo and for Dragonstar. So it's basically a mirror matchup. And by the way, Burgundians got banned. Burgundians did get picked quite a bit. Burgundians and Bohemians got picked quite a bit. Burgundians got banned, Bohemians not so much. So they could have gone for it. And we have seen actually in the past Bohemians and Spanish, if I'm not mistaken, together. But yeah, they have just chosen to go for these two. Let's check. It could be a better option. I guess it really depends on the situation. Obviously, conquistadors are very strong. You get 3 conquistadors, and on paper you can one-shot villagers already, and they are distant. They are ranged units, right? So it's a little bit easier. Custodian, on the other hand, they can also one-shot villagers in small groups, but it's going to require a recharge, and also it's going to be melee, so it's a little bit harder. Oh, villager going down already though. First blood over here in favor of Dragonstar, taking a villager down from Lyx. And less than 9 minutes into the game, yeah, we get first blood. we have talked about Spanish already. I have not really introduced Mayans just yet, but they do get 1 extra villager upon starting the game. On top of that, they will get 10, 20, and 30% cheaper archer units in the field, castle, and imperial ages, as well as 15% longer lasting resources. And for the team bonus, we'll see also a discount on walls, which is pretty good, and it's going to allow them to go for these little wall segments to protect themselves, right? Dragonstar's getting pushed away. Yeah. Think only yesterday we saw Custilier play by Somi on this map. Yeah. You can definitely go for it. Not this series because Burgundia's got banned. But yeah, it's a strong civilization also. If you do have the option, it's completely fine. A fine civilization indeed. Guys, will we get a king snipe again on this map ever again or not? Where's the king from, Chris? What are you doing, man? What are you doing, Chris? Sergio has gotten to the Castle Age, and we see Pulmarchers coming out. Lyx has gotten to the Castle Age, and he's got Conquistadors coming out. Yo+Lyx and Mr. Yo have the King's Garrison. We have the King Garrison over here for Dragonstar? Not quite. Where is Dragonstar's king? TC? No. Where is it? He's scouting with a... Oh boy. He's gonna be up against Conquistadors and Pulmarchers, and he's scouting out in the open with the king. Where's the king from Chris? There you go. Yeah, man, be careful. We've already seen some accidents involving kings and projectiles in the past. You don't want to be that guy. Just looking over his kingdom. Yeah? Just supervising. Second TC coming out for Dragonstar. Only 1 TC for Chris. 1 TC for Lyx. 2 TCs for Mr. Yo. So basically mirrored game over here for both teams. Same civilizations, going for the same economy. Pretty good stuff. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, the king and the monks are so similar looking for American civilizations. I was kind of scared of there for a moment, but then I realized the king's much faster. Anyway. Yeah, so far pretty quiet. Chris is starting to collect some relics. There are plenty of relics over here, by the way. So how many do we get? That's going to be 1 monk for... they are not separated by monks carrying relics anymore. Wait! Hold on, what? So both monks are carrying relics? No. How come this is separated for the bull player but not for the teal one? Let me take a screenshot and share this with Capture.H. But yeah, regardless. There are plenty of relics over here. Let's actually try and figure out how many there are. So, he's already picking 1 right up. Where is it? Where is it? Is it over here? Is it over here? That's a wall. Okay. That's a relic. 17 relics, plus the ones that they have already collected. Plus 2, so it's going to be 19 relics or so, unless there is a monk carrying a relic. In which case, it's probably a little bit higher, but close to 20 relics. Definitely worth going for, even if it's just going to be from 1 monastery. Imagine Lithuanians in this map. It's good, it's easier to get to 4 relics in any case. Burgundians are also very strong because of that too. If you end up collecting, like, let's say 9 relics, right? That's going to be worth about 11 villagers or so. Actually, that's going to be worth about 20 villagers or so worth of resource because you get gold and food from relics. So if you end up getting 10 relics, that's going to be worth 24 villagers of resources for Burgundians. No wonder they are getting banned. Second TC coming out for Chris. No second TC coming out for Lyx just yet. Level Pass is a little bit ahead in villager count though, and that's because of the third TC from Mr. Yo, while Dragonstar is on only 2 TCs himself. The interesting thing though is Dragonstar doesn't seem to be getting particularly ahead in military himself, so falling behind in villager count compared to Mr. Yo does not seem to be giving him too much in return whatsoever. Let's track these while I report the bug. Okay. Good pressure. This is what you want to see. If you're falling behind in economy, you gotta go forward and put pressure up. They do have more military units after all. This is how you get the game back. There we go. Should be able to come in very soon, man. That was not holding on too well. Shouldn't they be able to come in still? Yeah, they are bailing, but I'm pretty sure it was still open. Probably just respecting the siege workshop. On the left hand side, conquistadors from Lyx are coming forward. This is still very much open around Chris's base, so it's kind of rough. Gotta get to bed, so just here to say that these peeps should just play arena instead. Maybe they will learn their map for this. Maybe. There we go. Beautiful. Villager going down. We'll see another villager going down. Yes, sir. Another one. And another one. And another one. Oh, boy. This is the kind of damage that I was expecting Dragon Imperial's Shadow to be able to do around Web of Palace's fortification, not the other way around. They were already behind in villager now. In villager count, right? And now they're falling behind even further. Yeah, well done. Well done from Lyx. It's just gotten so much bloodshed over there. How was the Douches and Stashes series, by the way? I only saw the result of the last game, World Casting. Oh, yeah, for sure. It was pretty good. Enjoyed it quite a bit. Castle's coming out for Dragonstar. He's going up to the Imperial Age as well. Won't be able to get the castle up in this position. He's got to take care of these units, but fortunately, obviously, he already has a castle to work with anyway, so it's fine. Bringing the Pullman Archers over. Nice. Let's see. Since they start with a castle, they still need villains to go out to the next stage? No, they don't. As you can see, there are no villain icons over here on top of the Castle Age icon, which indicates that they can just go up to the Imperial Age right away. In a way, it was skill versus cooperation in the last game. Looked amazing based on the last game. You could say that, yeah. Finally, Imperial Age is here for Dragonstar. He managed to get the castle up already. He's got 2 castles to work with. What will we see? Well, he's gotta be careful, because if he starts going for trebuchets right now to try and put pressure against Mr. Yo's base, won't be able to go for the pull archers he so desperately needs, and he's been struggling to get a good mass of. Imperial Age is on the way also for Mr. Yo, and that's going to leave Chris and Lyx then. Still kind of stuck in the Castle Age at the moment. Budget difference is huge. It is. It could change. We'll see. Chris got 17 conquistadors to work with. We've over here for the yellow player 9 conquistadors. But that's a lot of Puma archers. Chris gotta get out of here, and he will. Not before shedding some blood though. From Lyx's conquistadors. Good micro. Good micro for Chris. Nice. Good defense for Dragonstar as well. So, no trebuchets at all. Will Mr. Yo get into the Imperial Age? I don't think... Yeah, it's gonna have to sacrifice Pull Archer production in order to go for trebuchets. He's got enough castles to go for both things at a time. Let's take a look at the resources. He does have enough resources to go for 2 trebuchets. Now. But we don't see any, no. We see Bracer come up. Chemistry. Conscription coming up right away, so yeah. It's incredible that at the moment we have like a solid 10 2v2 team, not just AM Suomi in China. This tournament is really showing how the game has grown. This tournament and Return of the Class as well, it was incredible. So, it's fantastic. There we go. Yeah, and Chris gets pushed away now. The Conquistador lead that he had is not going to be here anymore. We have too many pull marchers from Mr. Yo for Chris to fight against. And of course, with 1 player in the Imperial Age, that means that Mr. Yo gets better upgrades. He's got the lead pull marcher already. He's going for leather archer armor after already researching Bracer and chemistry, and he's getting Thumbring too, which is great. Yeah, completely agreed. Bailo. True, true. How many relics for each team? Let's take a look. 7 and 5 for Dragonstar and Chris. 3 and 3 for Mr. Yo and Lyx. So it's a little bit better for Dragonstar and Chris. Delta over here is going to be of 5. I think 6 actually. Yeah. Oh, Dragonstar was going for another relic, gets picked up. Eventually he'll get it though, so it's going to be 8 and 5, so that's going to be 7 extra relics for them. It's still pretty good. It's going to be worth about 10 villagers worth of resource income or so. So that kind of compensates for the villager difference a little bit, but not enough, of course. It's still looking much better for Wild Wolf Palace. Chris going up to the Imperial Age faster compared to Lyx means that we're gonna have 2 players from Dragon in Bear's Shadow in the Imperial Age, but it's only 1 for Wild Wolf Palace. But is that going to be enough to bring the game back? It doesn't seem to be like it's gonna take too long for Lyx to have enough resource to click out to the Imperial Age himself, and you know, Wild Wolf Palace has already gotten ahead in military count as well, in addition to economy, so it's looking pretty good. Dragonstar's got standard Puma archers. These are not even elite. They're not enough in numbers even. We have 30 versus 15, so Dragonstar's getting completely clapped. Mr. Yo should be able to clean this up for sure, and he will. On top of that, he's got C-Drum upgrade coming up, which is great. Let's take a look at resources. And there's another castle coming up forward from Mr. Yo as well. So that's going to be the 6th castle, I believe. Or is that the 5th one? That's going to be the 6th castle. Yeah. Good unit control. Oh my lord. You gotta be kidding me. That was so good from Dragonstar though. In the end, he shouldn't have getting cleaned up as well, I think. Well, he does have a lead pool archer, right? But he's still outnumbered by Mr. Yo. That's pressure from Lyx. And Dragonstar keeps on bleeding more and more economy. Basically, at this stage, yeah, it's game over already. Military count for Dragon in Bear's Shadow is very, very low. For Rival Pass, on the other hand, it was looking much, much better. So let's go and take a look at the achievements before hopping out and jumping into game number 5. With this one going in favor of Rival Pass. Guys, we are going to have a tiebreaker for game number 5 to see who ends up getting the match. But it's already fantastic to see that we have an even series and that no matter what, the teams will get some points. So yeah. Let's take a look at, yeah, much better KD for Mr. Yo+Lyx. Sorry about that. Let's take a look at the economy. Much stronger, of course, for them too, and for society as well. So much stronger for Rival Palace, so there was no coming back over here. Let's go back. Welcome everyone then to game number 5, the final one in the series. Let's switch this over to yellow as well, so it's respecting the color scheme. So yeah. All right. There is a pause over here. I'm not really sure what the pause is for. I'm going to enable predictions in just 1 second. Oh, okay. Mr. Yo is going to call the re. Let's go back then. And wait for a moment. Let me check. Yeah, there's a lobby once again, so it's fine. TND is warming up. Yeah. Up to Imp is up to Imp series versus Argentina is supposed to start in about 35 minutes, so makes sense. Hey, Radicabeza. Yeah. Big shout out to Wokoyotl as usual, Matt Cather for the map pool. I provided some feedback about the map selection from all the options, but they provide the most of the options. They are the ones mostly responsible for the fantastic map pools that we have for Terranova Duo, so very happy about it. All right, Dragonstar's here. How many reads are we going to see? Some let me know. We could, but there is only one read, so there are two reads per series, one per team. All right. There we go. Game is up. Let's go for it. Yes, sir. There we are, guys. Welcome everyone then to the next game of the series, the final one, the tiebreaker. Let's switch colors over once again. So what do we do? We're gonna have to switch Lyx over to yellow, right? But it just seems like it's going to be so hard to tell yellow and green and teal apart. We're probably gonna have to do something else. Maybe we switch to orange for Lyx. Is this fine for you? Can you tell orange and red apart? But of course they are being teammates. It's a little bit. It's not as bad, right? If you struggle to see to distinguish the units between Mr. Yo and Lyx compared to distinguish the units between enemies. But yeah, let's check. There you are. Taking a look at the civilizations then, starting down south, what do we get? It's going to be Chris playing with Vikings versus Lyx playing with Malians. That means that Chris will get 15, 20, and 20% cheaper Navy units in the Feudal Castle and Imperial Ages, and then on top of that, we'll get also... Now on top of that, we'll get also 20% extra HP on infantry units, and now we have a restart from Dragonstar. What's going on? What's going on? Is that a lame? Well, I don't see the scout taking a boar or anything. Is that a lane probably against Chris? No. What's going on? I'm not really sure, but we're gonna have to go back and wait for a little bit then. Again. Good thing that the bets were not up. So yeah. Let's go to the lobby's view. There. There are no more reads available anymore. Another re just went to get something. Yeah, another re. And there we go. Game should be starting again. There you are. Once again, welcome everyone then to game number 5. Oh boy. What were the colors? I think we had orange, right? And this is fine. We can probably just have blue, so it's a little bit easier to tell the teams apart. I think this is fine. Let me know if you think the colors are correct or the colors are good. If you're not having any issues with color blindness or something, otherwise let me know and we can try and work around it. But yeah, on the right hand side, what do we get? We're gonna have Lyx playing with Malians, which means a 15% wood discount on buildings. He also gets, with Malians, 30% longer lasting resource, 30% longer lasting golds, rather. He gets 1 extra Pierce armor on barracks units per age, starting in the Feudal Age, so up to +3 in the Imperial Age. And on top of that, we'll see for the team bonus, 80% faster working in universities, which is pretty nice. Meanwhile, Dragonstar playing with Italians will be getting a 15% discount to go up to the next stage, as well as a 15% discount on fishing ships. On top of that, Italians also get 20% cheaper gunpowder units, a 33% discount on university and dock upgrades, while for the team bonus on the other hand, they'll provide access to condottieri from the barracks in the Imperial Age. We take a look up north. The next guys will be playing with Vikings for Chris and Italians for Mr. Yo. We have talked about Italians already. Let's talk about Vikings real quick. We were talking about them before, but we have had the reas. So for Vikings, 15, 20, and 20% cheaper Navy units in the Feudal Castle and Imperial Ages. On top of that, there is also 20% extra HP on infantry units, as well as... What else do we get for Vikings? We are going to get free wheelbarrow and free handcar, which is instrumental to the very strong economy, of course. For the team bonus, we'll see also for Vikings a 15% discount on docks. So going for extra docks over here should be a little bit easier for them. It's pretty good. So we have Vikings and Italians. That's a very good combination. And it's interesting to see. On the other hand, we have Italians and Malians. So that means that in the Imperial Age, we could potentially see higher Pierce armor condottieri from Malians, and we could see higher HP condottieri from Vikings. I think I'm going to prefer... you know what? I'm not really sure, because you get extra HP for Vikings, but then also you go for Chieftains. And that also gives your infantry units extra bonus damage. They give your units bonus damage against cavalry, right? So that'd be pretty good. Huh. But then Malians with extra Pierce armor so strong against ranged units. That'd be very interesting to see. I'm not really sure what to expect over here. One difference though is that, of course, Vikings don't get hand cannoneer while Malians do, but then I don't think that's going to be too much of a game changer anyway, because both teams have Italians in them and both get hand cannoneer, so against infantry they should have the tools to work against. But besides that, pretty curious as to how this one's going to be played out. For water though, I do have to prefer Italians and Malians, Italians and Vikings a little bit, so Chris and Dragonstar, as it's going to be a little bit smoother for them to go for the dock since they pay less. And yeah. Let's check. Village is coming up already for Chris. Beautiful. It's got only one dock. There we go. Beautiful. It's on the way for everyone. So much faster on average for Dragon in Burst Shadow, though. Second dog coming out for Chris. No second dog on the way for Dragonstar just yet. He has gone for some walls already on land to try and protect himself. I think it might be open over here. No, he does have a very, very, very visible palisade. Very easy to click as well. So there's no doubt that he's completely walled up. Meanwhile, over here we see a transport coming over from Lyx though. And check this out, they'll give up on water, but they'll try to put pressure on land from the get-go. Chris, on the other hand, is going to take a village down from Mr. Yo, which is great. I don't think he'll be able to prevent the walls from coming up because this is already constructed, right? A little bit, 80%. Oh, but this is huge! Dragonstar already realized about Lyx's landing. This changes the game for sure. Check this out. Dragonstar, what does he do? He immediately tries to erect some extra walls up north, which is fantastic to see. And that was an incredible reaction. He most likely let Chris know as well. And what does Chris do? He goes for the walls right away as well. He actually commits 7 villagers to get the walls up, and he should be fine. So while White Wolf Palace were banking on Lyx, or the team was banking on Lyx to do good damage over here, does not seem to be the case. Does not seem to be like that's going to be the case. Lyx is unable to do much of anything now with these units. And that could leave Devs in a much better position, of course, with water control potentially. Also, we are going to start prediction for game number 5, but because... No, you know what? It's just going to be 5 minutes regardless. It doesn't matter if Divs ends up winning water because we have seen already teams in the past come back on land. So yeah, you have 5 minutes to get your predictions, guys. But this is the final one. Nice. There we go. Beautiful. Units going down already. Fantastic pressure on water from Dibs. Would you have an archer range now on top of the stable from Lyx? So where are the units? He's got the units up north. He'll try to put some pressure up over here. So far, honestly, it's looking pretty darn decent for Dragon in Bear's Shadow. Dragonstar might end up getting pushed away from here, but I'm not the biggest fan of him going for fire galleys actually. Chris, if he had his own galleys to work with over here, should be able to take on Mr. Yo for sure. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo is actually getting a lot of damage done. Going after the fishing ships. Yeah, doesn't that taking them all, which is great. But of course, we don't have a whole lot of fishing left for White Wolf Palace to do themselves as well. So the game is kind of neck and neck right now. That is correct, Ringlord. They took 2 games from Lyx and Mr. Yo. Nice. Kind of break through. Can we have the a.k.a. Yes. Looking a little bit better for White Wolf Palace still, mostly because of Mr. Yo's fishing ship picks. But of course, it was only a matter of time before Dragon in Bear's Shadow managed to get ahead in water once again. And yeah, we do have some galleys over here from Mr. Yo, but it should not be enough to take on Chris and Dragonstar together. Both Dragon in Bear's Shadows players are going up to the Castle H already, while White Wolf Pass has one player approaching. Resources they need to go up, so that's going to be Mr. Yo. He's got the resources, got the buildings, should be able to click up. However, Lyx is going to take a lot longer to go up. He does have a villager coming forward and putting a tower up behind Dragonstar's woodland, but that's not going to make too much of a difference. Dragonstar can just pull the villagers over to the right-hand side or left-hand side, and he's going to be fine. Meanwhile, these scouts and the archers from Lyx on the left-hand side are not doing too much at all. There we go. Yeah. And it's only a matter of time for Mr. Yo to eventually get cleaned up over here. That was a great set of demo shots though, to be fair. But yeah, doesn't matter. Probably not too much. Now, Lyx managed to break through though. How? Oh, he didn't. He actually used a transport ship. How does he still have water presence? He does transport the units over, and what does Chris do? Well, not much. He gets the walls up and he goes for 2 additional TCs, and because it's in the castle, he should be able to hold on just fine over here. So yeah, beautiful position still for Chris over here. Sure, Dragon in Bear's Shadow, they are significant behind the military count, but you gotta keep in mind as well that most of that's going to be land units from Lyx, and they have so far not been able to do too much damage. The extra TCs over here are going to end up being quite useful to Chris as well. On the right hand side, we see double stables coming up, and Lyx is on his way to the Castle Age as well. They'll try to go for knights, of course. And yeah, Dragonstar and Chris still trying to get water control. We have the War Galley upgrade already for Dragonstar, so it's got fire ships as opposed to fire galleys. And it should be able to get full water control, although Mr. Yo is going for the War Galley upgrade himself. War galleys will be so much stronger compared to fire ships, but he's making a switch to fire ships too, which is very interesting. You would think they would want to stick to war galleys, right, if you have access to the unit. Nice. Yeah, it's going in favor of Mr. Yo. Interesting. Really seeing like Dragon in Bear's Shadow should have gotten full water control over there. Kind of dropped the ball a little bit on it. But yeah, Scout goes down. Not too much pressure left from Lyx. Yeah, and it seems like Mr. Yo will end up cleaning Dragonstar up on water? No. Dragonstar's got more fire ships right now. Very, very even. Here come the knights. Nice quick walls coming up for Dragonstar already, and he's got a monk. He got the conversion, and he almost gets the quick wall up. Gonna do it though, but the conversion plus the TC should be enough for him to push those knights away. Not quite. Lyx is going straight to the wood line, and Dragonstar's trying to get the walls up over here, and he managed to get it, which is so much harder than what it looks because of all the elevation. But he's protecting his economy like this. Well done. Well done. Trying to get the conversion on the highest HP knight left over there as well. You got it? Beautiful. Yeah, Mr. Yo still has fire ships. He's got some war galleys and he's got demolition ships coming out. Meanwhile, Dragonstar is just giving up on water. He's not producing anymore. He's just trying to defend himself, of course. So he's got a defensive siege workshop and monastery, and he's going for siege and monks. Cannot afford to go for navy units anymore. Because they are going for extra TCs though, it should be a somewhat even economy for both teams still. It's going to be 5 TCs per team. Eventually, if Wild Palace is able to take advantage of the newfound water control to go for more fishing ships, they might be able to get ahead in economy, but for the time being, it's really even. That's a good shot. Mr. Yo was not paying too much attention over there. But he'll end up cleaning up the dock most likely. Nice defense. Conversion's going up. I think he's getting both archers, right? Oh boy. He's getting the archers? Oh, that one gets deleted by Lyx. I'm not really sure what that was about, but that was incredible defense from Dragonstar, and he's gonna be able to stabilize. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, Chris is going for a castle. Let's take a look to see if Dragonstar is thinking of a castle too. Yes, he is. He's been collecting some stones, so if he manages to get a castle out, that's going to be good for him to prevent any damage from castle H units. And Dragonstar, yeah, should be able to go for the castle in the next 2 minutes or so, but this is a lot of pressure coming in from Lyx. Videsi vs. Tattoo Black Forest just ended. I see. There we go. Yeah. Good pressure from Lyx still. Chris has managed to get the quick wills up on time, but might not be staying up for too long with the ram over here plus all these knights. Lyx might be able to break through very soon. Higher economy for Wild Palace. Stronger military as well. Let's check. Beautiful castle coming out for Chris. That's exactly what I wanted to see, and Dragonstar is getting almost enough to get the castle up himself. So, we should see the castle from Dragonstar come up over here. If he can take advantage of the hill, right? Like this, probably delete the house and just place the castle over here. That should be enough for him to defend against whatever pressure. Oops. Against whatever pressure Lyx is going to put with castle H units. So that's going to put Lyx in a position where he has to go up to the Imperial H. However, he did manage to break through on the left-hand side. He's coming in. Chris's castle is not really doing too much right now, as Lyx's units are strong enough to get straight past the castle, but some berserks are coming out. Gotta be careful. Yeah, it seems like Lyx cannot do too much more damage than this. On the left-hand side. Yeah. Hey, King Arthur. Welcome. Dragonstar's gonna go for the castle drop as opposed to a defensive castle. Yeah, and I imagine he's probably thinking Chris is gonna be playing the punching bag role against Lyx anyway. He doesn't need to worry too much about it, but ideally he would want to get a defensive castle eventually as well. He does have 9 stone miners, so he should be able to go for another one very soon. Not only has Dragonstar been able to hold on, but also has managed to push Mr. Yo away on water as well, so they are slowly but surely coming back. Mr. Yo is the first player to the Imperial Age by quite a bit. And still, Dragon in Bear's Shadow is not going up just yet, but it's still kind of rough. They're coming back. I just learned the finals will be next weekend. Yes, it's going to be on the 30th, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Chris is able to hold on over here. Beautiful. The second castle he brings up, he's able to push the knights away, so that's great. So I do have a medium trees mod, but it's not affecting birch trees specifically. Everything else is affected by it, so it's going to look a little bit larger than standard on this map and also on Savonia, which features birch trees, but for everything else, it should be fine. We do have the forward castle from Dragon, yes. We saw him go for it a while ago. We have a forward castle coming up from Mr. Yo over here, and because it's in the Imperial Lich already, he can try and throw the castle down from Chris. And Chris is going to get pinched. It kind of looks like it. Yeah. We have a monastery and a siege workshop on the right hand side from Lyx. And they're really surrounding the bull player. Meanwhile, on the right hand side, Dragonstar might have the castle up over here, but he's not really putting too much pressure up at all. This is going down. Yes, sir. Imperial Lich is finally on the way for somebody from Dragon in Bear's Shadow. But it's going to take so long. Oh, there's another castle coming up from Dragonstar. Can he get this one up, though? Where are the defenses from Lyx? Does he have a defensive siege workshop somewhere? I think both these are 4, right? Yeah, both these are 4. So he's got one over here, and then he's got the other one over here. He cannot really defend against this at all. He's going for a counter castle, but... yeah, 2 castles over here from Dragonstar should allow him to outproduce Lyx for trebuchets once he gets to the Imperial Lich. Of course, the difference is that Lyx is going up to the Imperial Lich faster, so he's going to have a head start in trebuchet production. Might actually end up taking Dragonstar's castles down before Dragonstar gets a castle gets a chance of castling trebuchets out of the castle. So yeah, Darnbird's trees ruining all the mods. Is it also the case for other mods? I don't think so. It's just probably for the medium trees mod, but it's fine. Don't worry. It actually makes the map look very pretty, and the map's already very pretty, but with large bird trees, it's so much nicer too. And yeah, guys, Mr. Yo with 2 castles coming up for right in front of Chris's gates. He's knocking on Chris's house, Chris's door, and he's taking this castle down. Chris is gonna be left on only 1 defensive castle, and still in the castle age, so no chance for trebuchets for him at all. He's gonna try to bail, go for an extra TC, but Mr. Yo is starting to bring some condottieri. This is what I was talking about, guys. There you go. Dragonstar calls a GG, and Dragon in Bear's Shadow cannot clutch it up. As WWP does end up taking game number 5, they will get the series. The final score of 3-2. Beautiful. But there was a very, very good performance. This is the first series for Dragon in Bear's Shadow, and they were fighting against the highest level team in their group, and they actually managed to get 2 points out of this, right? So that's still good because of tiebreaker reasons. But yeah, WWP doesn't end up coming out on top. People like you are just squares that lack depth. Good stuff. Good set. Incredible set, I would say. I'll be very happy about this one to start the day with. And let's take a look at the achievements before hopping out. We get a better than 3-2 KD ratio for Mr. Yo specifically, and overall a better KD ratio for WWP versus Dragon in Bear's Shadow. For the economy, on the other hand, it was significantly stronger as well for WWP too. And this is so interesting. We saw Dragon in Bear's Shadow go out to the fuel age faster. I really thought, especially with the civilization combination that they had, that they were going to secure water control, but they struggled. While the landing from Lyx did not do too much damage early on, he was able to force some reactions from Dragon in Bear's Shadow, especially from Dragonstar, who ended up giving up on water and basically giving it away to Mr. Yo in order to defend himself against Lyx's landing. In the end, it ended up working out and paying off. So yeah,